We all want a prosperous Queensland, and our strong plan is securing...
These slick campaign ads spruiking education, job creation and health cost millions.
It's a plan we know we can pay for.
But one thing you won't hear much about is how the vast war chest funding these Liberal National Party advertisements was amassed.
No one wants to live in a state where secret access is obtained to ministers and decisions are made that affect all the people, sometimes for the benefit of a few individuals. No one would regard that as fair.
What he's referring to is Q Forum, a members-only fundraising club that's raised millions of dollars for the Queensland LNP. Money that, according to the Australian Electoral Commission's most recent figures, has helped make the party the country's single richest political organisation. Queenslanders head to the polls in a few days, but the issue of how parties are bankrolling their multi-million-dollar campaigns has barely rated a mention.
To keep things moving in the right direction...
As the ruling LNP in particular saturates the airwaves with its election pitch, a voice from the Fitzgerald era has raised concerns about where all the money is coming from.
They're at it again with bells on, running these things where they are selling no more and no less than the community's property that they hold in trust in order to feather the coffers of a political party.
Former counsel assisting the Fitzgerald Inquiry, Gary Crook, helped jail National Party politicians for corruption. And he's not alone in his criticism of the so-called selling of access to ministers. One veteran independent MP is concerned that it's all being done under a veil of secrecy.
People want to know who's influencing the major parties, and the way that these Q forums, and the Labor Party used to call it something else, the way that occurs to the community that I speak to is not acceptable.
Some of Australia's biggest and best-known companies are paying participants of Q Forum, firms representing the resources, finance, legal and retailing sectors. Q Forum subscribers can pay up to $22,000 for sponsorship packages to a single LNP event, where they can mingle with ministers. The LNP says it's the most open and accountable government in Queensland's history. But ministers like Treasurer Tim Nicholls are quick to dodge questions about Q Forum.
Look, I attend many events throughout the state.
Corruption fighters from outside Queensland are also troubled by what they see as pay-for-access political fundraising.
Access to ministers can be and is given to those who are prepared to pay for it, and access is not so easily obtained by those who aren't prepared to pay.
Now, if Queensland are prepared to live in a state where this kind of practice is acceptable, well, that's a matter for the ballot box. And as I said, they then get the kind of government they're prepared to have.
As the head of the Independent Commission Against Corruption, David Ip launched the inquiries into former New South Wales Labor ministers Eddie Obeid and Ian MacDonald, who were both found to be corrupt. The ABC understands the Queensland Electoral Commission has lobbied repeatedly to get payments to Q Forum separately disclosed as fundraising contributions. But the LNP insists they are commercial transactions for a service it's providing.
I really cannot see this as a service. I think that is a false description. I mean, or putting it politely, an extreme euphemism. What is the service? What precisely is the service? It seems from what you have said, Mark, that the service is the ability to meet the minister.
It's a service that can generate big money, as this email shows. This invitation from the Queensland LNP last July offered members a place at an exclusive 100-seat dinner featuring the Premier Campbell Newman and the Prime Minister Tony Abbott. For $5,000, guests could even select which state or federal minister they'd prefer to sit with.
Money speaks. No one should be favoured, and least of all is it appropriate for a sectional interest such as a political party temporarily in place to use this precious capital of governing and government that the community has given them to feather its own nest.
You just tell them for me, not to worry about it.
Both sides of politics need to tread warily. They've had corruption scandals in the past, from the revelations of political payoffs in the Bjelke-Petersen era that spawned the Fitzgerald Inquiry, to the jailing 6 years ago of a former Labor minister for taking hundreds of thousands in secret commissions.
There is no place for this kind of behaviour in the public life of our country or of our state.
The Labor government under Anna Bligh eventually banned pay-for-access events. But it would appear that policy has been overturned. Today, 7:30 was leaked an email showing the Queensland Labor Party offering businesses subscriptions to what it's calling its Progressive Business Network.
The Queensland Progressive Business Network provides a great opportunity for business and community leaders to engage with Queensland Labor on a regular basis throughout the year. The first boardroom lunch event with Anastasia Palaszczuk MP will be held next Wednesday, the 28th of January.
Those who want to mingle with the Labor leader and attend boardroom-style lunches and dinners have 3 subscription options. The price between $5,000 and $10,000.
At present, the system allows, indeed, in a sense, encourages political funding that carries with it the possibility and indeed, I think, the inevitability of corrupt behaviour.
7:30 contacted dozens of attendees of Q Forum events. Caltex told us Q Forum is a convenient way to learn more about government policies and to meet ministers. Suncorp told us it participates in Q Forum to gain insights into policy making, while Origin Energy revealed to us that its membership is $11,600 a year. But the vast majority of companies didn't respond to our inquiry at all.
The Premier of Queensland, Campbell Newman.
7:30 also approached the Liberal National Party, but a spokesman said that because of the election, no one was available for interview. While the Queensland Parliament has been cleaned and polished in readiness for the victors of Saturday's election, one MP respected for her integrity and her anti-corruption credentials won't be there. Independent Liz Cunningham is packing up her office and bowing out, and she leaves with a warning.
Do you know what democracy should be for nothing? Democracy should be something that the people of Queensland and Australia expect, that will be given to them freely, openly and transparently, no strings attached. Democracy is free.